Man, you guys are not going to believe this. Prepare yourself for the astrological shitstorm coming. Get your hat, get your raft, pull yourself up by the straps of your boots, my dude, and get ready for a wild ride. Here's some cosmic insight by none other than your host with the most, Mr. Meyer with the fire, here to take the collective vibration higher. Today's a good day. It's good to see your face, Fire Family. Episode 65, Mars Day with Mark. What? That's crazy. If you're new here, welcome. If not, welcome back. This is your favorite astrology podcast. Week by week, we get ahead of the curve and see what's going on a week in the future. So, this is Tuesday to Tuesday, Mars Day with Mark. We're starting the week off September 3rd, and we're going to end the week September 10th. So, it's a beautiful week. I'm going to run you through the highlights of the astrology, what we can expect, how we might experience this energy. And today we're actually going to do a little bit of a retrospective analysis, which I think is pretty cool. So you get the best of all the worlds, man. That linear time, that present, that future, that past. I'm about to put it on blast. So this is the chart of the moment, guys. Feast your eyes. Go outside and pretend it's not Thanksgiving as you feast your eyes upon the most feastable chart. Oh my goodness. So today I'm going to do the degree breakdown and then we can talk about, kind of where we're kicking this week off. So what I mean by that is it's really a new moon and I'm going to focus a little bit on that before we go into the week's transits, but just feast your eyes and know that it's Virgo season. So you can see in this chart the sun is at 12 degrees of Virgo. The moon is also in Virgo still. Thus we have the new moon. We've got Mercury direct in the sign of Leo, which is really cool. Mercury retrograde is over. We're heading out of that post shadow period. We've got Venus in the sign of Libra at about 6 degrees as we kick off the week. Mars is just finishing up its transit in Gemini. And I don't know about you guys, but I've had enough of this shit. So no offense to anybody with this placement, but yeah, I'm ready for Mars and Cancer, quite honestly. But you can see you got Jupiter at 19, Gemini, right next to it. You got Saturn retrograde at 16 Pisces. Uranus is retrograde at 27 Taurus. You've got Neptune retro at 28 Pisces. And Pluto is retrograde at 29 Capricorn. And guys, this is probably the last time in your life that you're ever going to see Pluto in Capricorn, likely. So get excited, guys. These are some crazy times that we're living through as far as the week goes, but also leading into the end of the year and the coming of 2025. I really think that these shifts are quite interesting. So I'm going to run through it one week in the future just so we can kind of see where we end off the week. And then we'll start with our, new moon and then the major highlights of this week. Okay. So this is September 10th. This is next Tuesday, guys. So you'll see the sun has moved up about 7 degrees. So we'll end the week at about 18 Virgo. The moon will be in its first quarter phase. And you can see, let me draw the lines for those on the video, but you can see that the sun and the moon are at a 90-degree angle from each other, thus the quarter moon. How beautiful. So, if you're looking for the moon today on the 3rd, you might not see it. But if you wait about a week, you might see half a moon. So that's pretty cool. All right. And you got Mercury finally getting out of Leo, going back to Virgo, back home. We love to see it. Venus will cross over the South Node and Lilith and end up on 15 Libra. We've got Mars in the sign of Cancer, guys. Let's go. Let's fucking go. I need like sound effects. I would like hit the air horn. This shit is fucking yes, man. I'm so ready for Mars and Cancer. If you guys can't tell, I'm a Mars and Cancer person. Feels good to be home, baby. Hey, and Jupiter is going to move about 1 degree up to 20. We've got Uranus doing not shit. Did I skip Saturn? Yeah. So Saturn's 15 Pisces, not much. Guys, the outer planets are really not moving too much. They're all retrograde and it's like past man, it feels like past Mars, everything is at a standstill. So I will just say that, we do have a lot of action going on in the inner planets in the lunation cycle. So that's where we're going to start this video off, guys, even though, that's your insight. That's the degrees. That's the metaphysical weather forecast. That's your temperature. That'll tell you basically if you need to get a raincoat or a jacket or a flip flops or some sandals or whatever. Check your natal chart, guys, and see which planets are transiting what house in your chart so you can see what time it is for you. Because we all have a different rhythm, we all have a different cycle, guys. So let's get back to this cosmic insight, the universal picture. And then, therefore, you can translate it subjectively to you. So, yesterday, guys, on the 2nd of September, and that was Monday, Moon Day, we had this new moon in Virgo, guys. And the new moon is the beginning of the lunation cycle. About every 29 days, we'll get a new moon. All right. And it takes about 29 days for the moon to go from new and to wax all the way up to full and then wane down all the way to new again. So that's what we got going on right now. Like I said, you might not be seeing the moon if you're watching this right now, but about a week from now, you'll see half the moon. Do the math, and then that's how you do it. So what does this mean, guys? A new beginning, a new cycle. I'm so glad you asked what it means, by the way. So the energy of this chart, of this moment, of this new moon, it does say a lot about the cycle that we're entering, about the next month, about the next 29 days. So before we really even go over, the highlights of the week, I figured that we would cover this higher time frame because higher time frames have higher power. Okay. Planetary cycles in orbit. You dig what I'm saying? I love this shit, guys. So if you like it even a little bit, hit that like button. Okay. Please and thank you. So just understand that Virgo is the 6th sign of the zodiac. Just to give you a little brief overview, this is the maiden, the virgin. And historically, virgin didn't always mean somebody that didn't have sex. Virgin used to really mean somebody who belongs to themselves. So I guess the connotation would be more along the lines of what we call single now. But even that's not even truly the picture. Like somebody could be, in the more traditional sense of the word virgin, they could be in a partnership and have sex, but still be a virgin, as long as they were self-sovereign and dedicated, devoted to the self. So Virgo is an earth sign. It's very practical, grounded, stable, logical in its demeanor and approach, but it's also mutable, which deals with change and adaptation. So the Virgos are lit, guys. Give some love to the Virgos this week. And if you are a Virgo, shout out to you. Happy birthday, perhaps early belated or today. Celebrating your life, baby. We love you. Virgos make the world go round, man. Let me be honest. Because and let me be clear, guys. We all have all 12 signs in the chart. We all have all the planets within our charts. They might be in different spaces and configurations, but every one of us has access to this energy. So with that picture that we've painted, and I should also say that in the melothesic person, in the metaphysical anatomy, Virgo rules over the bowels and the spleen, in the part of the digestive system. It refines and processes and excretes waste, basically. So Virgo has an energy, as an archetype, kind of does the same thing. It's discriminating, it's calculating, it's analytical, it's focused on optimization, refinement, perfection, even. Okay. It's meticulous, it's scrutinizing, it's detail oriented. Okay. So the archetype I'm referring to is focus, guys. Everybody has the ability to focus. And I will also say that Mercury's the planetary ruler of Virgo. And it also rules Gemini. So that's going to say that Mercury really governs perspective and focus. And we can see how that really plays out. And, there's a lot to say about Mercury. But in context of this month, guys, I really think that's the best thing to kick it off with, is saying that this month is asking us, where do we put our attention? And what is that doing for us? Energy is currency. What you pay attention to, you move your energy into. And you get what the fuck you pay for, guys. So we can't be paying for a bunch of bullshit. I'm going to jump the gun and talk about Pluto and Aquarius and reel it right back very soon. I just want to say 2 words, man. Brain rot. Pluto and Aquarius, brain rot. There's a lot of junk information in media and data and stimulation. And it's fun, dude. Don't get me wrong. This internet is crazy. But every now and then, you have to be cautious or questioning, what is it that I'm consuming and what does that produce within my life? Am I focused on growth or the manifestation of my goals? Okay. And even if it's not that deep, like you're not climbing a mountain or slaying dragons, guys, there's something to be said about the process, the system, the ways in which we embrace our life. Because let's be real, guys, the sun is life. If we didn't have the sun, we'd all blow up and die. Okay, cold, hard world without the sun. We sure need it. Okay, and the necessity of the sun, let me say, is going to be very clear this week. Let me be very clear and say that once again for Jabroni in the back falling asleep. The sun, our need for the sun is going to be very clear this week. And I'm going to tell you why. Okay. You can see it in this chart, and it's going to get more pronounced over the days of the week. The sun is opposite to Saturn. And this is the theme of our lunation cycle, guys. So, on one note, it's worth noting that these two planets, if you consider the sun to be a planet, really are, opposites on some level. And therefore, they attract each other. They really work well together. But at the same time, this opposition can be a cause and source of a lot of friction. And it's worth noting, guys, that the sun naturally rules the sign of Leo, which is the lion. It's the most creative and expressive sign. And Saturn naturally rules Aquarius, which is all about community, the collective, the truth. And these signs are naturally opposite. So I'm telling you guys, the sun and Saturn really do have a natural opposition within the world. And we all experience these archetypes once again. The sun is really our unbridled creative force, our natural self-expression, our powers of identity and self-realization. Okay. But Saturn really shows us about the physical part of the world, the material, the structures and the foundations that our life is built within. And this can even manifest as paradigm before it even becomes dense. And it's also worth noting that, the things within our life, the society, the environment, the people we interact with, these do shape and influence the paradigm as well. They have some effect on the way we see ourselves. Okay. So we need the sun, we need Saturn. These do really can go well together, but at the same time, they can really present themselves as conflict and really, antithetical. In one sense, the sun is just about playing, having fun, living your best life. And Saturn is like, fuck fun. I ain't got time for that shit. I gotta go to work, man. Are you kidding me? What if, what if, that's Saturn is just like the what if, it's discriminating, it's mature, it's more pragmatic, it's more serious. Okay. And we need both. So, can we get both this week? That's kind of what the challenge happens to be. And I will say that Virgo's hard enough without the sun opposite Saturn, man, because where the life is moving towards is that discrimination and that focus and that improvement. So, within the sign of Virgo, the season of Virgo, and let's recap, it's been 12 days of Virgo already, meaning we have about 18 more days to go. This is harvest season basically, and it does place an emphasis and a focus and even a desire to be involved in self-improvement or increasing our skill set or refining our processes, things of that nature. And I want to really illustrate this, guys, in the chart that, on one level, when you look at a chart, like a natal chart, or even, start studying your transits, you could effectively look at this wheel, guys, like a psychological mirror of yourself. So, the bottom hemisphere largely will deal with the more internal part of ourself, and the top hemisphere is more about our extroverted and external part of our interaction with the world. So, when we talk about Virgo, the sixth sign, the last sign below the horizon, this talks about all of our experience of self, like Aries, and our body, which is Taurus, and our, perception, which is Gemini, our feelings, which is Cancer, our expression, which is Leo. We take all of that and we turn our lens back in on ourselves with Virgo. And we think about, who am I and can I fix things? What service do I provide? What's my job? What am I here to do? What am I responsible for? Is there a task I'm meant to carry out? Virgo asks these questions. Am I doing the right thing? Is calculating. It would assume there might be a wrong thing to do. Can I do better? So, your health, your job, whatever work you do in the world, this may be a prime focus, meaning, you may be locked in and more interested. You may be seeking a new job. You may be seeking, you know, better ways to take care of your health, better ways to take care of yourself. But beyond that, guys, it's just so fucking important. God damn, so fucking important that you figure out what house Virgo is in. Because if you were like this chart, you would have it in the sixth house. But if you were a Virgo rising like myself, you would have it in the first. Or if you were like a Scorpio rising, that would put Virgo in your 11th. Yeah, and so on and so forth. You could do the math, you could figure it out. But just the point is, that's the part of your life that's going to be highlighted. And that's really where this lunation cycle is going to begin for you. Okay. That part of your life. But because Virgo naturally rules the six, you'll see a lot of it dealing with what I already said. But, you know, ultimately, life is as beautiful as you make it. It's as hard. It's as hard as you make it. It's as beautiful as you let it be. So try to have a good life. Try to be responsible. I'm gonna give you a couple delineations for this Sun Saturn opposition, man, and just know that it is gonna really peak on intensity on Sunday. And I'm gonna move the chart up just so you can see this because the new moon, it's a beautiful phenomenon. We get this every single month, like I said. So my best advice to you guys listening to this video, as far as new moon rituals, the best new moon ritual you can do, literally, is to take some time by yourself. And this is going to be one of the most Virgo new moon rituals you've ever heard, okay? And you probably don't even need to write this down. I'm sure you can remember this. It's simple. Get in your room, go somewhere undisturbed, basically, clean the room, sweep up everything, organize things, go light some incense or light a candle, go get a diffuser of some oils, go purify the room, bless the room. I strongly recommend you get a black candle, okay? And you consecrate this candle with the intention of the new moon's energy. Super simple. Just all you got to do is will it in. Light the candle, get a piece of paper, get a pen, write the word new moon goals on the top. That's like 3 words, really. New moon goals. And then you would put September 2nd. And then you would put to October 2nd, which is our next new moon. Okay. And I'm telling you guys, you write number 1. And the idea is you're going to do 10 different things and just think about 1 month from now. If you had an amazing month, what would that look like? What things would you like to accomplish? What goals do you want? What do you want to strive for? How do you want to push yourself? Okay. How do you want to grow? Okay. And there's many types of goals. I recommend SMART goals, which means specific, measurable, attainable, relevant to your life, time bound, so put a deadline on it. Like, I want to make X dollars in X days, or I want to talk to X clients in X days, or I want to go bird watching 3 times this week. It'd be like that. Those are SMART goals. You see what I'm saying? And beyond that, it's worth noting that there's many ways to delineate a goal. And one of my favorite people, Bob Proctor, I was reading a book that he wrote. He mentioned that there's A goals and B goals and C goals. I thought he was like seagull, like a bird, but he's letter C goal. And an A goal is something that you really don't even have to write down. Like, let's say you have like you've been going to the gym twice a week for like the last 5 months. So that's part of your routine or whatever. Writing down, go to the gym twice a week, that's like an A goal. It's going to happen already. You're already conditioned to do that. You don't have to do that. That's like writing, I'm going to buy bread. You're going to do it anyway. It's not really a goal. It doesn't force you to grow. And a B goal, the way that this was defined was like a goal that you really want, something you desire to attain, and you have ideas about how to get it. You've got a strategy. You have some linear framework to attach yourself to. And a C goal is something that you desire, you want, but you don't have any idea how to get it. So therefore, it is going to force you to grow. It's going to force you to learn. It's going to force you to get uncomfortable and step out of your comfort zone, truly. And you're going to have to embrace that, satisfactory discontent. Like, I'm not where I want to be, but I'm excited because I'm moving towards something cool. Success really is the progressive realization of your ideal over time. So if I could simplify this, new moon in Virgo, I would just say, guys, the value of consistency is so key here. You know, when it comes to setting the goals, doing your ritual, thinking about where you want to direct your life, you know, it's cool to have high aspirations and want to get to the top of the mountain or climb every mountain. But, you know, the only way we're going to do that shit is by taking one step at a time. Okay. And, you know, you may not need to bring all this extra gear for the level 10 peak when we haven't even climbed the first little tiny footholds, you know, foothills or whatever. You know, so we don't want to overcomplicate shit. Keep it stupid, simple, and focus on consistency. That's really where our biggest growth is going to come from, is being able to enforce discipline and do every day that which we may not necessarily want to do. Okay. And that's really one of the beautiful things about this Sun Saturn opposition. I want to kind of give you a couple positive and a couple negative, you know, manifestations of this transit as we go through the week. Okay. And I just want to point to you again, you know, where we start the week 12 degrees with the sun. And then we have the Saturn at 16. And meanwhile, you know, they're moving in opposite directions. The sun is moving forward, Saturn's moving back. But pardon me, on Sunday, Sunday. It was really Saturday, Sunday, I should say, somewhere between there. You know, we'll see the sun and the Saturn go opposite completely. So on one note, you know, these two planets connecting is going to bring in this desire to be disciplined and to be responsible, you know, and to really lock down, focus in. Self-control may be at an all-time high. It's going to inspire you to persevere, push through the challenges, and really just go crazy. You know, turn on your beast mode, your boss mode. Fuck the bullshit. I'm about to get it done. Let's get the work in. You know, work ethic will be accentuated, maturity will be accentuated. You'll look at life in a more realistic and long-term view. Achievement will call to us more than anything right now. And this will help us with our problem solving, our deductive reasoning, and our, you know, approach of our tasks. But at the same time, man, you know, Sun and Saturn plays out like a restriction on the life force. You feel me? So, on one note, this is self doubt because the ego drive and the fear are going in two different directions. Okay. And as a result, we can get in our own way. Feelings of being inadequate, fear of failure, that could be prevalent. We could be way too focused on the negative this week. So that's just, you know, worth the reminder to be extra positive, work on being positive. You control your paradigms through the ways you choose to perceive life every single day until it becomes a habitual thing put into your unconscious. You know, so needless to say, life force can go through some restrictions, guys. So, you know, this could also talk about energy levels fluctuating, feeling a more serious approach towards life. That could be pessimism, looking at the negative, having a hard time having fun, you know, rigid thinking, overthinking, overworking, being hard as fuck on ourselves, man. And look out for the people that got, you know, the sun and Saturn in an aspect, or really any major planet aspecting Saturn. But yeah, these that can be like the hardest on ourselves, really, but especially with the sun being our sense of self. So, you know, I think above all that, you know, there is this tendency to be thrown within ourselves. So the sun Saturn is a highly empowering aspect, and it can really promote a deep sense of achievement and a sense of responsibility, but can also be, you know, kind of lonely and isolating and depressing sometimes too, man. So, you know, beyond just being positive, it's worth doing things this week that is going to bring your energy up and really bring you some joy. And that may look like rest sometimes. You may prefer to spend more time by yourself during this time, but it's worth knowing who your support is, who your friends are, who you can really enjoy the company of and be understood and loved and appreciated by too. And especially with the Virgo energy, I feel like it's good to know who loves us and cares about us, because a lot of us may see ourselves more negatively than others perceive us too. So connecting with good people is often a reminder, things definitely aren't as bad as they seem or you like perceive them to be. People can be very grounding, when you open up to them as well. So that's cool. So it's a Sun Saturn week, guys. And after Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, we'll break out of this, opposition, and that pressure will really peak, and we should come out of this weekend with a more reinforced sense of self, a stronger sense of duty, and a clearer look at our responsibilities. So that's a pretty cool week, guys. And I'm really excited about it. And I'm going back again. Pardon me, guys, for like flip-flopping back and forth. But at the same time, I think I'm doing quite well at this shit. So I take that shit back. I am unpardoned. But let me show you guys something crazy. At the time of this new moon, I mean, and still technically now on Tuesday as we're doing this, Mars is square to Neptune. Mars really broke that square, yesterday during that new moon. And that's an intense angle, guys, let me say, because and again, with this being the lunation beginning, we will see some of this energy kind of reverberate through the month. Okay. And Mars is what? It's desire, drive. Neptune is what? Transcendence, dreams. So yeah, you can put the language together, guys. There's this desire to escape, a desire to run the fuck away from life. Like things can feel really different, like exaggerated because of our deep emotional sensitivity right now to the world with this one, man. On a more positive note, this may be highly inspiring, uplifting, leading us towards compassionate action, but without practical methods of application or positive ideals, this shit's gonna look like deceitful actions. So you better watch out and make sure that you aren't unconsciously wishing harm on others. Okay? I'm not here to judge, but that's just really what the language is saying. And me personally, as like a human, I do really keep to myself a lot, y'all. So it's like I generally don't feel threatened by the actions of most people because people don't really get that close to me. I got Saturn in my motherfucking eighth, square my sun type shit. But at the same time, if things look sus, is what I'm saying. If people come at you, you know, all shady, and it's like that tall dude with the top hat, and you're like, damn, that really could be like two dudes. He's super tall. I think there's a guy like standing on other guy's shoulders underneath that coat, trying to sell me tickets to a movie or something. Like, I think I might pass. I don't need that shit, man. He said it was gonna be the best movie ever. I just have to go down this alleyway. Like, I think I'm good. I was just trying to get to AMC, man. That doesn't look like AMC. That's not where the map took me. Watch out for deceitful ass actions, man. People trying to manipulate her or get one over. And I'm not even gonna get political, but I'm sure there's something very political you could say about this shit at this time with the governments and blah 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 blah. Who gives a fuck? I don't want to take it there right now, man. We do give a fuck, but not right now, man. Let's keep it on. Let's keep it sun. Keep it out of the Saturn energy. All right, let's talk about Mercury. And let me say this, guys, also with Mars and Neptune going square, it's just saying that, it's really important that you chase your dreams. You can either wake up and go chase the dream, or you can go the fuck back to sleep and dream your dream. Okay? Can live it or you can sleep it and dream it. All right. And on a more empathic note, I will just say that, Neptune and Mars is going to increase our sensitivity while Saturn does its thing. You know, respect your limits, respect your real boundaries, and, keep time space in mind where if you want to climb to Mount Everest, but you still haven't left the village, man, you got to keep things in perspective and, take your time with them and sequence your goals and hit them in a realistic order. Okay. Like the journey of 1,000 miles. And I'm seeing like the journey is Mars, Neptune is like 1,000 fucking miles. It's a one step at a time. And it's going to require us to believe And beyond this Saturn feeling of ineptitude, this Mars Neptune energy has this feeling of ineptitude, or like this questioning, this worrying. Like, am I even doing what the fuck I'm supposed to be doing? Am I fucking lost? Where the hell am I going? Is there anywhere for me to go? Am I doing the wrong thing? I'm probably doing the wrong thing. So this shit is like urging you to avoid thinking that. I walked y'all through the thought already, but I'm just trying to tell you what's probably subtly on a lot of people's minds with this shit right here, man. Uh, it wouldn't be a test if you had all the answers. It's okay to wonder. It's okay to wander. It's okay to be fucking confused too. Like, if you're not confused on some level, you're not paying attention, man. So I hope that offers reassurance to somebody out here, man, because life is fucking weird. What the hell? I mean, and that's the Sun square Saturn. Like, all I could really say, if you want me to summarize Sun Saturn, or Sun opposite Saturn, not square, Sun opposite, life is fucking life, dude. It's life, man. And it's just what it is. So let's talk about Mercury today, guys. And Mercury, it had a slow week last week. Mercury was chopped, and we just got out the retrograde. So thank hallelujah, Jehovah, Elohim, Zabaoth, fucking righteous, man. This shit is so good. Mercury is in the sign of Leo. And I think Mercury likes Leo, man. This is about dramatic communication, saying it with your chest, having a great ass time, living your life fun and creatively. You got Mercury moving into Virgo this week. And that's really cool because Mercury really is going to be more dignified in the sign of Virgo, where rather than, communicating like an artist or an interpretive dancer or a painter, you'll communicate more like a scientist, or more like a analyst or a teacher, basically. There's going to be a higher emphasis on exactitude, correctness, detail. And that's really going to kick in on Monday when Mercury moves back into Virgo. But I do want to show you guys that Mercury is going to make its third and final square to Uranus this week. And we had this happen a couple times because of the retrograde, where, it moved into the later Leo, and then it moved back into later Leo. And then now that it's direct, this is the third and final time it's going to make that 90-degree angle. So, Mercury and Uranus is going to bring, and this is Friday, by the way, guys. On Friday, we're going to have Mercury peaking with Uranus, okay? And this square really is going to, change the way we think, help us get out of the box, innovate, liberate our minds. This may speed up the way that we gather information and process things. It's independent thought. That's what I meant when I said free thinking, forward thinking, progressive insights, original communication. You may be finding your inner genius. This is the, like, and what I want to really say about, as like, as far as polarity goes, this shit right here, guys, is like breakthroughs or breakdowns, mental breakthroughs or mental fucking breakdowns. Okay. So, on a more negative manifestation, you may kind of see some restlessness with this one, or impulsiveness, or, erratic communication, rebelliousness, disruption, nervous ass tension. How do you expect the unexpected? You really can't, man. So, this one does kind of come with an unpredictability when it comes to technology and travel, how we communicate. We may kind of find disruptions in our routine or difficulty sticking with it as well. This need to be free, unrestricted, and, you know, as a consequence, kind of overstimulated by life and our environment, and, all the information coming in at this time too. So, and this leads me into Mars and Cancer, which is actually going to kick in before this square too. So that's kind of cool to talk about it now. Is that Mars and Cancer really is going to change the way that we feel, guys. I'm being for real. And what's kind of crazy is that Mars usually spends about 6 to 8 weeks in a sign, but in the case of a retrograde, it can spend a lot longer in a sign. And we're looking at about 6 months of Mars in Cancer. Long ass time. And I'm cool with that personally because I'm a Mars Cancer person myself, but I will just say traditionally, this is a harder place for Mars to be for reasons we will discuss. But I really feel like the benefits of this transit are going to be profound and pronounced. And get used to it, man, because Mars is not really going anywhere. And by the time most of you see this, Mars will be in Cancer because it ingresses on Wednesday. All right. So we only got really one more day of Mars and Gemini, guys. And I'm like celebrating this shit. I'm so glad it's over. I like Mars and Gemini. Nothing wrong with it, man. But it's just right before Cancer, too. So I'm like, can we get on with it? I'm playing, man. But this is the planet of, desire, action, motivation. And it's in the sign of feelings, connection, intimacy, closeness, family, privacy, heritage, home. Okay. So, that's the focus, guys. They say home is where the heart is. And really, this is going to make us want to be more connected to those that we love and care about. Or, this may just be a more, internal orientation, the desire to go within, to embrace the feminine. And that's cool. You know, it's going to give us a tremendous amount of emotional drive and passion to work with. But at the same time, some of the common problems we get with this shit is that, frustration, internalized aggression, repressed emotion that can breed into brooding, resentment, manipulative behaviors, passive aggressiveness, the desire to control those close to us. You feel me? So it's worth the reminder. Treat others the way you want to be treated, man. What goes around comes around. And what's best for you is not necessarily best for somebody else. So you have to give others the freedom to be themselves. Okay. But at the same time, Mars and Cancer is like mama bear. That's protective as fuck. It's like, don't touch the people I care about because I'll fucking kill you, dude. That's really how it goes with that Mars and Cancer. Like, it's really that serious, guys. That's mama bear energy. It's like, don't fuck with my family for real. Emotional courage, fighting for what your heart says. Intuitive action is also something that I really see with this one, guys, where, Mars and Cancer asks us to act through our moon, the ruler of Cancer. So it says, what does your heart say? Fuck what the world says. Fuck what your intellect says. Think about the animal part of yourself. What does that shit say? And it's said that, the bottom three chakras really are the animal part. The top three are the more celestial human orientation, and they unite in the heart center. So, it's really important to open that damn heart, open that moon. And I'm still working on it, guys. Let me be clear. I haven't mastered this shit. Like it's work. It's the great work, and it's perpetual. There is no fucking end. It's forever. It's an uphill battle always. So get excited. Love that shit. Appreciate it. Cause dude, if it was over at some point, you'd be fucking bored of that shit. You'd be frustrated as hell. Cause like you gotta move as a spirit. You have to go. The ocean never stops flowing. Why the fuck would we want it to stop? So if we can make peace with existence being forever, I think existence will be a lot more fun. Personally, that's just my opinion. Take it with a grain of salt. But I will just say, Mars and Cancer will have us more inclined to embrace our inner rhythm, the whisper or call of our soul. You feel me? So, your decisions may not make the most sense over the next 5 months to you. You're blessed if you can rationalize them, but I will just say more than ever, there will be this call just to do what feels right. Okay. And also, Cancer reflects the past. So, this may actually have us confronting our emotional patterns and addressing them and seeing if they're useful, if they serve us, or if they're interrupting us and they're just straight up inappropriate. And we may have the ability to confront these willfully and consciously, but I'm pretty sure that over these 6 months, some of these patterns are just going to confront the fuck out of us, and we're going to have to fight against them with Mars and Cancer. I want to be very clear, guys. When Mars transits a sign or a house, it shows what parts of our life elimination is required in. The word is elimination. What do we need to cut off, restrict, destroy even? I'm not encouraging violence, by the way, but I'm just saying, guys, it talks about, you know, patterns that are dysregulating or connections that aren't right. This talks about unifying our family, or this could even be disconnecting from certain family for better or for worse. But I would just say for better, for better, for better, because we're claiming that energy. Tenacity, audacity, emotional depth, creative energy, resourcefulness. But this is a lot of moodiness and, you know, indirect action. Psychic perception will be increased, a need to sense out the world, trust the vibes. Hey, man, I think a lot of people are gonna, and yourself included, if you're listening to this message, let me just say this: your psychic abilities will flourish over these next 6 months. So pay attention to your attention and pay attention to the energy. Be more centered, be more still, and you're gonna have a more clear direction of where to act, what you want to do, how you want to do it, and how you can get more done while doing less, guys. The moon governs the cycle of our ocean. You know, it's the lunation cycle, but it's the gravitational force that pulls on the tides. So it directly correlates to our feelings, our water balance, our sense of timing, our calendar, our months, our moon shows all of this. So basically, I'm just telling y'all that everybody's on a different time. Everybody's got a different clock. And I really wish that everybody hearing this message can reach out and grab Mars and Cancer and know that this will help you be more at peace and feel more at home in this world, man. Because you'll know more about your time, your sense of rhythm, your sense of direction that comes from within. Okay. So open that damn heart and let perfect love and perfect trust be your guide. That is true will. Okay. And I'm encouraging people to walk in strength and walk in peace. With this Mars and Cancer, take it from somebody with this placement, guys, that sometimes, the vibes just tell the story before anybody can say anything, man. And, if you get that bad feeling in your gut, listen to that shit, man. Some people are dangerous, bro. This world does have dangers. We know this. Don't forget. Stay in peace and stay encouraged, but do know that, if things feel too good to be true or they feel kind of off or feel wrong, that feeling is an indication of something. And watch people's actions, not just their words, but deeper than that, on top of those things. Trust how people make you feel, man. Trust how they make you feel. And try to seek congruence, unification within all three, what people say, what they do, and how they make you feel. And try to be consistent in your own life in that regard so you can attract back that right energy too, okay? So another thing I want to call your attention to, about two more things, guys, because I don't want to make this too long and drawn out. I love to talk, of course. Feel like I'm becoming a professional yapper at this point, but let me also say that this week, beyond it being a beautiful Mars and Cancer week where we start off going home, we got Venus in her home sign in Libra, transiting the South Node and Lilith. And what the fuck, guys? What the fuck does that mean? I was hoping you would tell me. Does anybody have like Venus and Lilith in some prominent configuration? If you do, let me know in the comments because I would sure like to know. And how's that working out for you? What's that doing for you? I would sure like to know. So Venus is everything we need and want and like. Oh yes, Venus is that good shit. It's that good shit, man. And if you need that good shit, hit the link in the bio, man. I'm gonna get you right. Venus is bright, hot ass planet. She is, and she does well in Libra because she does deal with everything that's beautiful and pleasurable and relatable, sociable, connective. And that's really the season right now. Libra is symbolized by the scales, guys. So having Libra, or Venus, I should say, in her home sign of Libra does really, instill a sense of peace and balance and, connectedness with the world. And this will kind of have us looking over our lives, especially with this Virgo sun at like, is there anything in our life that's not balanced right now? It's like the princess with the pea under her mattress. You guys know that story where this lady, this is the stupidest story I ever heard, man. Like now that I'm thinking about it and I'm like paraphrasing it, but I don't even know, like there's no plot, bro. I'm sorry because I don't know the whole like the reason why, but basically this lady, this princess, she was like in a castle, yada yada yada, and she had like a pea under her mattress. And they just kept putting more and more mattresses on top of the other mattresses, and then she was sleeping on this stack of mattresses like 100 high, but she just kept feeling this damn pee under the mattress. She's like, this cannot get comfortable. There's like something wrong, basically. And it could be like, my point is this, guys, because I don't know why the fuck she had that pee under there, like where it came from, what was the point. I'm sorry. If anybody knows, feel free to educate the class. But the reason I brought that shit up was that that one little thing that's out of place in your life can make everything feel fucked up. For real. Sometimes when one thing's wrong, it makes it feel like everything's wrong. Whether that's your health or your money or your relationships, your family, still no girlfriend. Damn. Shit like that. It's that type of energy. You're like, I got all the money in the world, but no one to share it with. Damn. Or it's like, I'm the most successful person in my company, but my kids hate me type shit. Is this shit getting real enough, y'all? Like, yo, it's real life, man. I'm sorry if I just went too deep, y'all. But hey, that's Venus Lilith. Cause man, what do I even say about this shit, yo? This is one of the most confusing and auspicious parts of this week, I think. Even more confusing than Mars Neptune. Cause the South Node reflects the past, guys. Like where we came from. And Lilith on some level kind of the same. I know they're in the same spot, but Lilith really is a divine feminine force, an unyielding, unsubmitting, primordial force of life. But the word I'm getting intuitively is devastation, guys. Physically, Lilith is the lunar apogee, which refers to the furthest distance the moon can travel away from Earth in its elliptical orbit. And mind you guys, the moon once again instills our sense of connection. It helps us feel and sense things. And when the moon goes so far, this can show us really where we feel a void or we feel a lack or, you know, bearing in mind the moon is connection in life. This could even reflect a part of us that is alive and completely unable to submit. It's unyielding. Even in the darkest place, it's going to still be there. Okay. So I find that, Lilith, when we talk about dark feminine, this shit can kind of sound spooky, but also, if you've ever been to the underworld or even worked with these dark feminine spirits per se, you'll know that they're very healing and regenerative and empowering, for the right reasons, I should say. Because if you come to spirit with some fuckery, man, you get what you give for real. And Libra Lilith has been handing out justice. Let me say that, guys. Like what's been done in the dark is coming to light, man. And you can't lie to the universe. You can lie to anybody you want, but ultimately it's all written in the records. It all is recorded. This is a world without secrets. And the more we globalize and compartmentalize technology and interconnect, it's just going to be increasingly difficult for evil to exist in this world for real. And I love that shit, man. I really do. I really love that shit. I see a more beautiful, peaceful world as I'm looking at this energy. So, what I see about Lilith on the South Node, and mind you, Venus is here at the same time, so we'll throw Venus in just a second. But with Lilith on the South Node, man, this is like releasing our darkness. Okay. And that's cool. And this is going to happen across the board. But at the same time, guys, I just want to kick in polarity in different ways of archetypes expressing. Well, the more conscious, individuated type like you listening to me right now, you'll be experiencing a release of some of your darkness. Maybe even a purging of some trauma, profound healing, catharsis. But also for some, this may be about acting unconsciously, for better or for worse. For those that may not be as aware of these energies or maybe operating through them unconsciously, you know, That's really just what I said, is that we might not be acting with the full amount of force, will, or love. Okay. So really the basic baseline here, the message, seek to do the best for all and harm none. And then generally we can do pretty well. And that's basically Venus and Libra in a nutshell, guys. Is like if you treat other people the way you want to be treated, generally, you have this congruency in your life and you attract more of your what you actually desire, basically. And that's cool. And I will just say that it's worth noting that, Venus is what we like. Not everybody likes the same stuff. What one person values doesn't necessarily translate or equate to what another person values, nor should it. Okay. So there's a lot to say about this angle, and I'm just kind of gonna hit some highlights on the Venus Lilith South Node. I feel like this is a glow up. It's a beautification of life. It's gonna help us really bring in a deeper sense of peace in different parts of our life, kind of reassess things that might be out of balance, embrace the more aesthetic nature of life. This could be karmic resolution when it comes to relationships, things from our past, kind of putting an end on it, unconventional beauty, independent values. With Mars going into Cancer right after this, man, you could just, again, see those more negative themes of manipulation or power play within relationships, or, you know, codependency, possessiveness, fear of intimacy, loving through control as opposed to trust, destructive patterns, hidden agendas. And let me say again, guys, like I know I talked about this earlier on with Sun and Saturn, but Lilith and Libra can be lonely as fuck too, guys, because it's like the sign of relationship is far out, so we need true depth within relationships as well. But and I know we're like off in the deep end, guys, but let me just say, I'm not the only astrologer who's observed that the moon is really going to reflect your self-image. Okay. Self-image. So even Lilith would say the same thing on some level. And that says deep, 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 deep in our hearts, what we really need is connection with people. We can't be over identified with others to the point where we lose ourselves. Cause that's really what the South Node is saying, is that, if we're focused so much on people pleasing others, we damn near serve nobody, because we're not happy because our needs aren't being met. And therefore, because we're not a happy, joyful, filled person, the other people we give to don't even get to receive the full benefit of receiving from us either, because we're not at our best. So, you know, we're social creatures. It's by the grace of the God or the universe and two kind people or whatever people that we are even born in the first place. Hell yeah. Let's not forget that, man. We need people in this world. We are social creatures. If we didn't need people, solitary confinement wouldn't be like the worst punishment right under death. I mean, and for some people, death kind of strikes as escape slash good punishment. What that sounds like an oxymoron, good punishment. So I don't mean to get too dark, but I know we're having like a Saturn Lilith time right now. But that's why for some people it's more punishing to be like, no, be alive and be by yourself, because we have this true need for connection. Okay. So there's good people in the world. Open your heart and trust, and just know that you're sovereign in yourself. That makes you safe by assuming your own authority. Okay. And life be happening, man. Life be lifing. So I'm not trying to tell people to be blind and reckless, but I will just say that there's really good love and good life in this world. So make sure you get you some, okay? For real. And the last thing I really want to address, guys, this week is that, as we go over the course of the week, the Saturn, the Jupiter Saturn square is going to separate 1 degree. So that's kind of cool. If you look at this chart where we start, we got Jupiter at 19, Saturn at 16. And, Saturn is moving back, Jupiter is moving forward. So Saturn's going to move to about 15, Jupiter will move to 20. And we are still in this consolidation phase, guys. Let me tell you. And this will be the theme for the rest of the year and at least till April of next year. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm telling you, we got many more months of Jupiter Saturn square. Okay. So get comfortable with it, get used to it. Through the retrograde cycle, we're going to see a lot of, Jupiter staying square to Saturn. But I will just say it's kind of easing up this week. So, what we could maybe expect is just growth kind of happening a little bit more stabilized and not feeling so frustrated because we've been talking about Jupiter Saturn square for a couple weeks now, if not over a month. But this shit is fucked up, y'all. Let me be real. Like Jupiter is about growth or expansion, and Saturn is about decay and contraction. Okay. And both is the cycle of life, right? And it happens cyclically. Okay. But basically, like Hannah Montana, it's like you try to get the best of both worlds. But why the fuck do we have a concert at the same time that Miley's got to go to school? It's the final test. And we got to take the final, but you got to be on stage. Are you shitting me? Fuck. What am I going to do? Oh, no. You see what I'm saying? It's like we need to expand in some ways, but can cut back in others. It's like something might be wrong. We might not even know what the hell it is, but things got to change. It's like an expansion of limits and a limit of expansion. Okay. And I think with this one, it's easy to get frustrated at the limits that we have and feel like they're totally unfair or, just feel restless or overburdened by them. And because of that restlessness or that, impatience, we may kind of act like we have no limits and do some dumb shit and set ourselves back. So let's try not to do that, just to be responsible and to the trick here, guys, is to decide what areas we need to devote more energy into and where do we need to cut back as well and try to do both things in a way that's non-disruptive to our plans. Okay. And that's really going to be the ticket to success with all that we color ourselves. Okay. So, hey, apart from that, guys, the rest of the motherfucking planets are retrograde, Saturn as well. A lot of backwards motion in the solar system. Um, a lot of these planets, like I should say, really, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, the three outer planets are really in the final degrees of their signs, guys. So while they're not making too much movement, I'm saying they're preparing us for a broad cultural shift in 2025. We are going to be entering completely new fucking times. So it looks like the chapter we're in right now is get comfortable in yourself, find some internal sense of direction, make a plan, take some action, love your life so fucking much that you have an abundance of love and you just can't help but share it with other people. Like it's just pouring out of your chest. Like your cup is flowing over, man. It's running over, and somebody better bring me a towel because damn, I just got wet. I love you, Fire Family. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, please be sure to leave a like. If you're interested in the astrological readings whatsoever, you can hit me in the link in my bio and see which ones I'm offering and maybe get a spot and we'll chop it up. Blessed be, blessed we. I will see you guys on episode 66. Yes, until next time, goodbye. Oh, shit. Let me turn it off now.